thing on YouTube. Son of a bitch. Let's see if I can find you. Find me. This is the fun point where you'll get to watch me try to sort computer problems out. It is lovely. Supposedly, I am live, but YouTube isn't reading that I am. That's a lot of fun. This is some awesome fun. Let's see if we can find me. Let's see what we've got here. Streaming live. I don't know where though, because it's not showing up for me. Oh my goodness. A minute and a half. God, I hate streaming through this fucking broadcaster. Alright. Let's just go try to find me again. How much lag is there between YouTube and me? Uploads, videos. I don't know why YouTube hates me so much today. It's all sorts of fun. I don't know if you can see me, but I can't see you. This is the worst that I've ever seen YouTube respond to anything. It's the dumbest thing I've seen in potentially my entire time doing this. It makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. Hmm. 2.5 minutes in and I still can't find anything related to the stream. Wow, why is it? Oh, because that's why I went up to there, not to here. Wonder if it's here. Check the studio beta. Everybody loves IT. Get your IT, y'all. It's just so horrifically fucking frustrating to me. That's me tapping my screen, which is a touch screen. It's very slow in responding. Very laggy. What the fuck? YouTube sucks. Oh, here we go. What the fuck? It's set to private? What the fuck is this? Come on, asshole, wake up. What the fuck? Yes, make it public. Oh my god. Oh, kill yourself. Jesus, fuck me, Christ. New customized menu to fuck everything up. Yeah, oh, did you know this is stupid? And it's fucking everything up? Okay, let's see if I can see me now. Alright, asshole. Hey. Will it actually take me to me? It did, finally. My face just popped up on the screen. This is glorious. Oh man. Ay 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 ay. What a fucking world. Anybody? Hey, we got somebody. What's up? Hi. YouTube. Wow. YouTube sucks. Let's talk about YouTube sucks. Let's talk about that. I need a damned drink. Oh, goodness. Well, I had a viewer for 1 second, and it's now gone. Maybe if I put my bench on there, it'll be more happy. It's funny, because this right here actually looks pretty decent. Ay, ay, ay. Oh my god. What a world. What a world. Yeah, it can. You fucking moron. I don't care. Clear all these things. What a world. Technology. Technology. Fucking having a technological moment. What do we got here? Got any mentions? Oh. Chucky. We got a one person. Hello, lone viewer. I know that 30 seconds from now, you may be gone. And before these words even hear your ears. Your ears even hear these words? Whatever. So, YouTube decided to stop doing their thing with Hangouts. And so now it's almost impossible to do a group hangout without buying software. Kind of lame. I think it's a lame move. Don't know why. Hangouts still exists. You can still talk to your friends. You just can't stream it. So, whatever that means. I wanted to hang out with Paul tonight and work on this build. I'm still probably going to do so, but as of right now, I'm just a little frustrated. I spent the last 40 minutes fighting the internet to try and get this whole thing going. So, wait. Since it is just me, I am going to put on some music in the background. Maybe get my episode here demonetized. Let's see if we can't get demonetized. For good measure. Try and get a little demonetized on the side every now and again. Keeps things loose, you know? Not that I'm monetizing my videos to begin with, but hey, that doesn't mean that somebody else can't monetize them for their own gain. Oh, what a mess. I suppose I should keep this guy over here, just in case we have any conversations that I need to attend to. Oh, okay. Ah, gotta love it. Whew. I'll wait a second here in a minute and I'll go get, no, fuck it, I'm gonna do it right now. I'm just gonna get a drink. Actually, I'll leave a note. I haven't done this in a while. It's one of my favorite things. Now, it's very simple. It's this. Oh, I need that. Oh, shit, I need that. I thought I had one. I have one here. Oh shit, sweet. Boom. BRB. Okay. Oh, right. My mic volume is very low. I will turn it up. I'm not talking very loud also because I'm a little bit pissed off. Here, let me fuck with that. 1 sec. Thank you for the heads up though. Appreciate it, Michael. Doing the settings. Oh, Lord. Wow, look at that. How the fuck did that happen? There we go. That's where it should be. Now I'm probably like incredibly loud. Soul crushingly loud. better? Wait, I'm not even listening to myself. Does it sound any better? Oh, it sounds a little bit better to me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, test. 1, 2. That does sound really light. What's going on? What is going on? Here. It's right. Okay, what about this one? Yep, that's right too. Aha, I see what's up with that. I should go a little bit louder. Oh, what the fuck? Damn, come on. Oh, Jesus, now it's gonna jump all over hell. Okay, cool. A bit. How about now? It's probably a bit louder now. I will turn this off in the background. It will probably help. Get rid of the background noise. Okay. I am gonna go get a beer. I'll be right back. No way. I got my XSplit to work. It's now going on now. Oh, all right. Ay caramba. A scholar once said. I guess 15 minutes was kind of a lie. You're gonna have to wait 15 minutes. All right. What is this? Try mixer says. Oh, nice. All right. Well, I may look into that one. I am unfamiliar. More tech time. My whole fucking setup was wacky. I started a live stream and it took me 2 minutes to realize that YouTube auto set it to private. Why the fuck would I live stream privately? The fuck is that? First they discontinue Hangouts connection and now that's like, fuck you. Anyway. Mixer, he said. It's like it's so upset that I cannot remember. Right, it's Microsoft related. I dig that. But the question is, does it talk to YouTube? Because I can, and can you multi people? I guess I would think so, because it says mixer, that it would mix things. But, okay, it looks like Twitch, essentially. So the issue isn't having, you know, a platform that can talk to YouTube, because currently I can talk to YouTube, I can talk to it through XSplit, it works really well. I mean, clearly you can see the video feed is actually pretty nice, but it's the whole, like, not being able to do things as a group. So your Gumpla talks, your mechanisms, your, you know, your group live streams just aren't as easy to do anymore. So unless you buy software, and I really have a hard time with computers anyways. Just I make things with my hands. I don't do the digital stuff. I just get like I want a hammer, you know, like not a good response, I know, but instead I will drink the beer. Maybe. Oh, I love my like super sarcastic look in a thumbnail. Oh, that is gorgeous. Great. Okay, well, fuck it. Pick out some music real quick, and we're gonna build some stuff because I feel like building. Let's see. We should go. We did jazz. Jazz was pretty hype. We'll do that again. We got mega baseball game going on in the background. My wife is asleep on the couch. Here we go. This evening I'm drinking little Narragansett. I don't know if that's out of script, but there we go. I know that's not out of frame. Narragansett lager, a little 16er. I got this amazing, it's called a Brewmate. And I got it for my birthday from my wife. My birthday was a couple weeks ago. And it's this like space age beer cozy. It's got the stainless steel outer inner rubberized, but it's got a layer of copper inside of it, so it like stays extra effing cold. And it comes with this like puck, which is full of like a water or a liquid, a freezable liquid. And just pop that bad boy in here. Helps keep things extra cold. Obviously, this beer can is a little bit tall for it, but it works really well. You can fit the big Lagunitas IPAs in there, like the tall 20s or 24s. I don't know, 22s, whatever. And they stay icy cold, like down to the last drop. I love it. It's really good. Boy, if you done good. All right. Genesee? No, Gansett. I don't think they're different. I think. Yeah. You got me all curious now. No, this is Gansett. All right. So it's Char Month. Yay, Char Month. Oh, I was going to be so excited before. This whole YouTube thing's got the wind taken out of my sails. I'm working with this Marasai. I've had this built for a long time. I did a review on it, a very low volume review. If you want to watch a really low volume video, I watched it the other day. It was an early YouTube video. That's what that is. What up, Gumpapa? YouTube stopped using Hangouts, or stopped allowing Hangouts to work. So, no more easy group live streams. I have to look into either purchasing a subscription to Adobe or buying some other software for like several $100s to be able to allow multi-streaming capabilities. I don't know if that's just a walkthrough, like if Hangouts talks to that, or if I have to have somebody else do. It's just frustrating and stupid. I don't understand it. Maybe this is Tim getting back to me. Tim says, so Tim on Facebook, haha, now I sound like Tim. Tim on Facebook says, it sucks. Not only does it affect mechanism, but it also screws Gunpla talk. We'll figure something out, but it sucks. And I agree with Tim. He's not actually in the chat. It's a direct message, but all the same, I agree with his sentiments. It sucks. And why? Why are they doing it? Did anyone hear? I didn't hear a reason. I don't think there was a reason, but Charlotte flies by 3 times faster. Let's hope not, because I have a lot of shit going on and I don't need it to fly by really fast. But yeah, so I started working on this already. As usual, when I start a new project, or lately, the new norm, I make a list. So I've got my Char Month Marasai Quattro Edition. Ta-da! And I just went through each individual part: head, chest, torso, waist, arms, backpack, legs, weapons, etc., etc., and feet. Oh, and then this is an extra piece. But I kind of go through and I took the little bits apart. I looked at the things that I liked and things that I didn't like, and wrote everything down that I wanted to address on a list. You don't necessarily have to do this kind of thing, but I feel it helps me stay organized in regards to like where I am on the kit, the build, and just to stay on top of where I want to be, so that I'm not focusing too much on this little tiny corner of the project when there's this whole overarching pages of things that I should be paying attention to. Again, I do the box. I keep saying again. I put a little box next there. That's an Adam Savage thing, just like the list. Yeah, so fill in the boxes as you finish something off. If something's partially done, fill in part of the box. It's a great way to help you stay on top of where you are with your list. So I've been doing that. I got that in my list. And so on the list, I started on the head. I went through, and I'm unwritten. I sand everything, so I re-sanded everything down with a high grit. Let's see. Policy's gonna do some research on his end too. What Adobe app works? Flash, Adobe Flash. There's like a 30-day trial for it, but I know that they're gonna want me to pay after that, or whoever. Because, you know, I suppose if I have to have it, I suppose you probably have to have it too or something. I don't epic know. It'll get figured out, but for now, I gotta ride this one solo. Anyway, so back to the Marsai, the Sharsai Quattro Edition. We got on my list. We'll just look at the list. I put down the cowl because that's this big bastard right back here. I said it needs to be made less like Lord Helmet, so less Lord Helmet. The beans, obviously, all these little beans on here are a pain in the butthole. They all have 2 fucking nubs on them, so I went through and I cleaned all those up last night. That's why you see here, oh shit, let me get up in it. That's why you see here there's a white bean, because I lost one. Who'd have thought something that is like that freaking small, yeah, just shot off into nowhere. Anyhow, super easy to remake it. Just get a piece of styrene. I have like, I don't know if you can see it over there, but I have like 80 bazillion things of styrene here, all the different sizes, so that I'm sure that was mildly disorienting. So that's easy to just pick out something that's the same size material and cut a new part from it. So, and I just ditched my life. There we go. Yeah, so I sanded all those down. I sanded down the cowl. I sanded down the cap a little bit. These actually disconnect from the actual head unit of the Marsai. I may want to add an extra bean. It looks like it could. You could use a little Mr. Bean in there. But turn this down just a touch. There we go. Yeah, maybe add an extra bean in there because it feels a little bit loosey, feels a little bit light. But yeah, so these guys slap on. Super easy. I haven't quite figured out if I want to completely eliminate that, if I just want to modify it. Maybe I want to like draw it in a little bit. I don't know. Haven't gotten there yet. Not worried about it. However, since I did mess with the beans and clean them up, I marked it off on the list. But ow. I consider the head part, well, this part of the torso, I should say, excuse me. I consider this part of the head. This is what I'm calling the ascot, because it's kind of like an ascot. Really what it is it's a housing for this little, everyone's favorite. Look at that. Oh, look at the quality of that LED. Oh, it unwavering, baby. Oof. Yeah, that bad boy clips in there, and it's a disco. Look at that. It does actually look pretty cool if you line it up and put it into the part, though. On for reals. If you can get that, if I can get it to light up without just being a fucking glitchy bastard. Yeah, see? I mean, it gives a good shine, honestly, for being piped through 2 pieces of mating plastic. I mean, the LEDs are, they're an option. It is a means to an end, to say the least. But yeah, so I consider this to be one piece. This is gonna get some work. The ascot. Oh, what up, Captain Weirdbeard? Gabe's up in the house. Come through to say hello. I threw on my cheesy extreme southern accent for you. So today I'm just gonna work on the chest part and the ascot. I think Gabe was actually around, Captain Weirdbeard, when I was first building the Marsai and said he was interested in seeing where I was going to take it. Well, hey, you hung around long enough and you're going to see me actually finish one of those things I said I'm going to start. I will finish the golf eventually. So to do this, I'm going to go a route very similar. I remember that way back. I'm going to go with a route very similar to what I took with my Zaku Mine Layer. And I'm going to widen these, like the shoulders across the chest. When the arms are plugged in, and there is a little bit of, oh, it's the wrong side of arm, but you get the idea. there is a little bit of space in there, so I'm gonna like just add another layer of thickness. Maybe I'll straighten this out. If you can see how that curves in, if I get it parallel to the camera, there we go, kind of curves in. Maybe I'll just make that more blocky and straight so that it has the appearance of being like broader across the chest, without impeding any of this like forward backward arm movement. I mean, I can pull the arm forward in the socket a little bit, and I will leave that entire so pull this off. All right. I will leave the entirety of this opening here when I add that plate on top. I'm glad you showed up too, Gabe. I'm always glad when you show up, Gabe. I'm always glad when everybody shows up. I got that Mr. Rogers vibe going on right now. All right. So to start that, I need to pick up some plate. I have a bin. This is a dirty secret. It's not really a dirty little secret, but everybody's got one of these. So this is my bin of ends. It's all the round cutoffs and little bits and bobs and tubes and solids. Big ones, little ones, all sorts of sizes. It's all the little nips. This is the these are the power cables that I made for the Full City. If I can get that thing to focus. There it is. Yeah, filed into a piece of solid round styrene. I did like 6 or 8 inches of this stuff. Every 0.125 inches, I put a line. So lots of work. But yeah, so I got plot plate and strips and stuff like that. Like these are hand cut strips that I've made. So this might work. You know, it's not quite wide enough, I see, but this could work here to bring up the size on that. I can add a little bit of cement to melt that point, or I can just pre-stress the styrene to hook around that edge. But I'll probably do those as custom pieces or oversized and cement them down, pinch it all off. When it's cured, I'll come back through with the file and clean it all up so that it looks good. Only takes like, I don't know how many hours, 6 or 8 hours for it to fully cure. I'll just wait until tomorrow after it's all put together. But until then, let's see. How thick was that piece? Threw it away. It's like this one. This nice one. I don't do that whole, not up on all the millimeters and everything. I'm still an American standard builder, and I deal with decimals and unfortunately in the standard frame. It is within 100ths, but all right, that is 5. That is 0.5. So it's just less than a 1/16. That's like this big bastard. Yeah, this is a 16 thick. Yeah. Essentially, they're the same thing. I have lots of plot plate though. Alright, more plot plate. More plate. Just pull out a stack. Let's just see what we've got. It's a little there's nothing wrong with being a little thick, but I think that those parts are a little thick for what I'm trying to get them to do. This stuff's got a weird texture. Alright, this stuff looks a little bit thinner. It is. It's quite a bit thinner, in fact. I bet that's like 3:30 seconds or something. Anybody in another country that watches this is like, 3:30 seconds? What the fuck is that? Stupid Americans. Alright. I think this is the shit. They have the same pliability. They are from the same neighborhood. Very good kids. Alright. So, come on. There we go. We now get to, oops. This guy back here. Right here. Grab one of these wonderful pencils I've got in my tray. This is a Stabilo Aqualayable Writes on Everything pencil. Basically, it's a water-soluble pencil that you can write on plastic or metal or wood or glass or ceramic, anything with. So shit writes really, really well on the plastic. And then you can just like spit on it and it washes off. It's just kind of weird, but hey, fuck it. It works. So, how should I do this? I think I'll just use those calipers, figure out my width, max width, 4, looks like 4. I'm actually just going to use this, I'll lock it in, actually make it just a hair bigger, go up 5 thousandths, and just scribe me a simple line on there. I wouldn't recommend doing that with anything but plastic. I suppose you can do it on soft woods and stuff too, but you will screw up your calipers. So don't do it on metal. I know kids that used to do that and they just ruined it. Anyway. Time to scribe. There's a couple ways you can go about doing this, and Tim's talked about it. I'm going to talk about it a little bit too, because everybody does it a little bit differently. I like to use a somewhat crispy number 11 blade. People are kind of afraid of these because they are a little bit flexible, but if you learn how to feel the way the tool is reacting with the plastic, you can know when your blade is going to curve or fuck off or whatever you want to say, you know. So just use a sturdy metal ruler. Don't use a plastic ruler. The blade will cut the ruler. You're not cutting with the blade side. You're cutting with the back side. So you're using the blunt part of the blade and the point to cut down into the styrene plate. So I'm going to just line this up if I can see it. Old man, take a look at yourself. I can't see. All right. It's going to be good. It's probably a little bit overkill, but that's all right. Just did it break the tip off? It's actually better if it breaks the tip off the blade, which sounds bad, but it's not that bad. So as I am doing this, I'm making these little curly cues of styrene. And the reason I use the number 11 blade as opposed to like the Tamiya scriber, because I have the scriber too, it does work to cut. Obviously that's its job, to cut the plastic or whatever you're trying to cut. Well, not whatever, but you know. And it does a good job, but it removes a ton of material. There we go. So we saw for the last cut, I just flipped it over, one slice. Got a fairly clean, not perfectly straight, obviously. In there. Zoom. Oh, it's not going to focus because it's a tiny little edge. But yeah, there's a tiny little bevel right on this edge, which is fine. I usually just take, again, the knife. Scrape it a couple times. Oops, watch out. Good thing I have thick skin on my fingers. This episode should be called What Not to Do with Your Number 11. All right. Oh yeah, Michael, totally invest in some plow play. If you just want some like general grab bags, go to Evergreen, or you can even go get this stuff on Amazon too. I bet Tim has a link in his Tim list. But go to Evergreen Styrene and get one of their like kind of like grab bags. They have like odds and ends bags, and they'll have like they'll have some rods in there, they'll have some tubes in there, and they'll have a bunch of plate. you can get ones that are only plate, or you can get some that are a little bit of everything. Anyhow, that's where I got a lot of the plate that I have from. I just buy a few of those mixed big bags, and I just have enough because I'm not like gonna go out and buy sheets of dimension styrene like I will with the rods. I mean, I make pistons out of the rods, so they have to be like specific. They all have to be like metric and not dimetric, but dimensioned properly so that they sleeve properly. All right. I don't think that's going to be enough to do both. Well, it might. Is that halfway? It's about halfway. Maybe we can swing that. Definitely on that end. Great. Two-part? Is it like a like an epoxy, or is it just a one-part, like a dip and spread? Ah, there's Paul. Sorry, I just got your message from 924. I apologize. Oh man, the guys in the Discords are fans of Ninja. We'll just pretend that I didn't read that. Guy makes a lot of money, but he's a giant waste of time. YouTube, driving people to drink since inception. Alright, I have this in half here. Let us... So, like I said, you know what, before I'm getting ahead of myself. Slow the fuck down. Take a breath. I forgot that I need to do these faces. So, I want to boast them up a little bit. But I don't think that this is the right... I think this shit is going to be too thick. So, this is something... This is the same shit. Nope, it is actually just a hair thinner. Success. Alright. Different plate. We'll see if I can get the camera to link up here. I don't think it will. It did for a split second. Alright, but you can see. Come on, focal range, be my friend. Anyhow, you can see how much thinner that is than the other one. Quite a bit. Forgot the brand name, two-part. Oh, right. That's okay. Unless it's Aves. Aves is really good. Wow. Alright, so now, I got the pencil. I'm going to line this up. I'm going to line it up to this flat edge. And then I am just going to get my head in the camera and trace this bad mother. One, trace the other side. This is side one. This is side one. Side one. This is side 7. I forgot to trace the inside. It's alright, I'll actually be able to chase these out with a file after the cement is cured. Alright, we're gonna use the saw today. Boy, we're gonna use all sorts of fun stuff. Alright, my head back in the camera. How's my hair? Still there. That's a plus. I'm gonna chalk that one up to a win so far. I'm only like, what, halfway dead? Who knows how much time I got left on this world. Alright, so this is side 2. Mark 2, mark it 2. Alright. Oh, Bakeba. So, we are going to use jewelry saw. One of my favorite musical instruments. ASMRs for the birds. Okay. I'm just going to cut these out. So you can't even see what I'm doing because the camera's in a weird position, and if I move it over to the edge of the table, you'll be looking at my crotch. So I'm gonna scoot my happy butt back. There we go. Almost. Look at those socks. Oh yeah, only the finest in socks for my viewers. Okay, so here we can see this. Got my sow. And I'm gonna start over here on the thin edge. And just cut this as close as I can. This is actually slightly oversized because of the way that the pencil interacts with the edge of the piece when you trace around it. So that's okay. If I get a little bit wavy on it, or if you do, or whoever, if you're doing this at home later. And so the reason I'm doing this so close at the edge of the table is the plastic is really flexible and the blade is incredibly aggressive. So as you can see, like, I'm pulling, you probably can't see, you're so far away. Let's see if I can, I wonder if I can get a super zoom like Tim gets. Essentially, every time I'm pulling the saw blade down, it's moving, like, say the distance here, it moves half the distance. So 2 tugs on the saw makes 1 gigantic long cut because of how soft the plastic is. Alright, we'll nip that other part off with the nippers. Ah! Come back, you! I'm not done with you yet. Alright. We'll just clip that. Perfecto. Just do the other one in the same fashion. Except I have to cut left-handed. Just kidding. I mean, I can cut left-handed, but I'm not going to. Now is not the time to show off. Alright. And as cleanly as this stuff is cutting, I may actually cut out that opening using a technique where you drill a hole. Go. Let's go. Where you drill a hole in it and then pass the blade through the hole and then cut it around from the inside. Just because this plastic is so soft. Alright, simple cut. Camera back to Normalville. Steep learning curve with the jeweler saw? Not really, honestly. Sounds in tune. Yes, Paul, it is in tune. Yeah, not really. It's the blades are cheap. They come like as long as you get a good rate, like a good. Well, don't hit your microphone with it, but as long as you get a good body. This one is made by Grobitz. It's like Swiss. It's a Swiss company. Switzerland. Grobitz. And very good. A little bit expensive, but it's going to last me my entire life. I bought these Swiss blades. There's how many was there in here? They're number 3/0 blades, and I think there were 200 or something along those lines in here. No, 144. Sorry, 144, and it was like $4. So don't worry about the blades. You're gonna break them, and that's okay. It's all part of the game. But yeah, in regards to this, no, it's not. Just make sure that the blade. The hardest part is knowing which direction the teeth are pointing, because they like should point, down as opposed to up. Because they point like up. When you push, it'll be cutting, as opposed to when you're pulling. And I find that pulling with the saw makes a cleaner cut. You have more control than with pushing. That's not the same for everything, but for this particular tool and this particular medium, I feel it works really well. So take it or leave it. Leave a comment down below for the hell of it. All right. I do think that I am going to do that technique where you cut a hole in, or drill a hole in the bad boy and pass the blade through. So let me get to my saw. Not saw, my pin vise here. I actually just keep the pin vices with a variety of small bits in their own case. Actually, here, this is plenty big. I'm gonna drill some honking hole. Slide that back. And a couple quick spins. Straight through that. Same with this guy. 2, 3. 3 spins all the way through. Put a little hole in my mat. Sorry, cutting mat. Alright, I better write this down on the mating face so that I know which one it goes to. Okay, so saw anatomy. Basically, you have a couple of static parts that relate to each other with a clamp. You have the handle and this post here, and which are incredibly strong, and then you have this component here which is bent. I don't know what this is called. I didn't look this up. I'm just telling you what I know. These are a tension just by pulling on it when this is loose. So we're going to loosen this screw here, which holds these in tension. And this actually is going to be, there we go, yeah, it was a little bit tense anyways, just because it's Swiss precision. So there's this clamp, and then there's these two clamps, and then these two clamps actually pinch vertically and hold the blade in place in vertical position. They sandwich it, because it is a little bit taller than it is wide. So I'm just going to, let's see, yeah, we'll undo this one, the back one. So I undid the back one. I'm just going to slide this out, and you can't probably see it. There you go. Now you can see it. There's the blade. That's how skinny the blade is, and that's also how gigantic my hands are. All right, just going to thread this through here. As you can see, magic. All right, and then thread this guy back in here, and usually give it a little push, and you can see when I tighten it, if I can get to it, there it is. It's straightened. You couldn't really see it, but it straightens ever so slightly. Actually, quiet you. All right, that didn't work, and I lost my piece. All right, I'm gonna do this. I had it before, but I was being weird about it. Right. Out of the way, piece. Alright. Tight. There we go. And this is loose here. So I got this nut tight. I got the piece on the blade. Just gonna tighten this up with my little bit of grip. Squeeze that down. Yeah, it's got a dampener on it. So normally you would put this in a vise, but I'm going to cut it in the air because why the heck not? Cut to the corner on the cut and just turn the saw a little bit. Cut some more. To a corner, turn the saw a little bit. Now I'm cutting very much inside the line because I really want to make sure that I maintain that reveal condition, or for the hole. And almost there. Last corner. Alright. Link. Now I just undo the saw again. And piece is cut open. Hole on the inside, and I didn't have to do any weird scribing. That's always a plus. Call that one a win. Gonna do the same thing with the other side. Oh, and I did the exact same thing. Hey, you know, I said I would do the same thing. You can't say that I didn't deliver. Alright. There it is. Felt it hit the back of the stop. Make it tight. Funny thing too, if you break a blade on the jeweler saw, if you break it and it's close enough to one of the ends, if you break it like right here where the teeth start, you can just choke the blade up, shorten this distance here, and have still use the blade. So you're not out if you break a blade and it's like close to the edge. Now if you snap right in the center, you're kind of SOL. Alright. Now as I did before. Yep. If I was more inclined, I would actually make a cutting yoke, as it's called, for this, so that I don't have to do this precision work by hand. It is literally like a kind of like a bird's mouth cut into a wedge with a hole at the apex. And if you don't know what that means, that's okay. I'm really talking in like kind of jargony words. But what it is it's a wedged block of wood. Oh wow, that one was hecka close. Alright, release the grease. Opsy daisy. Alright, reset the tool back up. Just because I don't want to have to set it up when I want to make an emergency cut. I have a certain set of skills. I like to use my saw when I want to. I am Batman. Okay, we can take a look at these, and you see the second one, number 1, is a heck of a lot closer than number 2. Blink to there. Amazing. Wonderful. But what I was talking about, I can actually just draw it out here on this, not this piece of paper, because it is full of notes. Here we go. Drawing time. Essentially, I'm not going to use this pencil because it's expensive. It is, how do I want to draw this isometrically? It is a wedge of wood like this, right? That on this outward surface has a bird's mouth cut into it and a circle at the apex. So what you essentially have is this goes completely through, right? And this is open, so it makes like a graduated keyhole, like that. And yeah, from the top it basically looks like this. And this allows you to, so for this piece, you could place it flat on top of here with the hole through the center and the blade running down through it. And when you're pulling down with the saw, it is holding and supporting the material next to this surface so that you can get a nice even pull and you have a nice clean cut and you essentially have more control. When I was cutting this one, the number 2, when I was cutting this one, I was not putting a lot of concentration into holding the piece still. When I cut the other one, I was nothing but focused. So you can see the difference between having to focus and not focusing, and then having a tool that means you don't even freaking have to focus. So there's that. You can say you learned something today. Alright, so you can see plenty of white still visible in there with plenty of meat all around the outside. That's a good sign. That is a good sign. Alright, so where I was before, pulled out my buddy Old here. Old. And I'm gonna do I want to do the top? Wow, that's a good question. Do I want to make the shoulders taller or the chest taller? Pardon my yawns. What does it look like? Oh, over here. Oh, no, I was right the first time. Not fun. Alright. So, ascot. And this is this shoulder. There we go. I want to make them taller. Yeah, I think I do. But not completely. I think I kind of want to leave this weird line here the way that is, and then just build up this upper part here on the red. Just this part. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, because the backpack sits snugly against those. Yeah, so the back can't get effed with. Alright. For that trick, back to my bin. To the bin. Alright. This is some of that stuff I had before. Par frickin' fecto. I like it a lot. Strips. How much for your strips? Okay, that'll do. Relegated to the back of the bench. Alright, just gonna cut that at a 90-ish. It's actually not 90. There we go, that's better. Got a bed, Gio. Oh wow, look at all those things. Cool. Alright. Alright. I think I will put these on first. Yeah, I'll put these wanky looking pieces on the outside first. Just gonna get everything gross here with glue. The cement. Now I know this is thin and it's gonna evaporate, but that's okay, because what I'm looking for is I want it to do the initial etch on the surface, which will soften up that Bondi cured plastic for this plow plate to become one. All right. So now the smushy. All right. I just had a little panic moment where I quickly looked at my numbers to make sure that I didn't use the wrong piece, and I was right. I did not. Okay, so what I got here, something we kind of thought would happen, is I've got this sticking out part. Two things can be done. I can leave it as is, and I can then... Wow, that was cut really weird. I think I can reposition this because it looks fugly. I can fill it in with putty, or I can flex the styrene over. So I can either hold it up, leave it flat like this, fill it in after the fact with putty, and change the look of the piece. Do I like it like that? I like it like that. I like it like that. Snug. but annoying. Both snug and annoying. Yeah, I like this scoop in. I'm just gonna tie it over. Alright. For these, I have collected these little safety pins throughout the years. They come on some of my t-shirts when I buy them from the internet. It's like a modern way to put a tag on a shirt without, you know, putting a plastic tag on a shirt. If I can get it to stay. The one on the back is just like, fuck you. I don't know that this is gonna work. Yeah, that's too effing big. Alright, so how do we do this? Quick brainstorm. Alright, thinking on your feet. We can try one of these binder clips. This is too small. We got a bigger binder clip. Whew, binder clip works well. A little too well. Not bad. Will this stay? Yes. Alright, I'm just going to add a little bit of this glue in along the edge so that it will help to increase the capillary bonding between the two surfaces and improve adhesion through chemical bonding. Cool. I just need to go and get another one of those larger binder clips because I kind of have the tiny one. There's a tiny one. Alright, oh shit, I got it right here. Sweet! Oh yeah, it was almost like I planned it, but it didn't. Let's see, what kind of epoxy putty do I use normally? I go with Aves Epoxy Sculpt by Aves. It's really good. I started using it a long time ago when I was making props because it is strong AF. You can machine it and you can machine it and do all sorts of wonderful things to it once it's cured. It's a really versatile tool, and it has never really let me down of its part. Like, I have improperly used it and had mixed results in the past, but we chalk that one up to operator error. Alright. Got the glue. The glue for you. Pretty decently lined up on the inside. Alright, I'm going to tie this side down. And then I'm going to tie this side down. There we go. Let's add some of this. Adding some of this for the same reasons. Ooh, yikes. That's how it pulled. That's not what I like to see. Gonna have to watch that on the other one. Did that pull too? It's just about to. Did that pull 12? Huh? Unicorn? Huh? Nanny? Alright. Banter's not the same without Polly around. Okay. There it is. Thank you, Michael. this down for a little bit. Pretend like we're doing something important. Hey, Paul chimed in too. All right, Paulie. All right. Looks like we got some good bonding going on. Some bonding moments here. I don't think I have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about this anymore. Alright. Let that one sit for a second. Okay, clean up a little bit, because I don't need all this shit. Time for a sip. Still icy cold. The only problem with this thing is that because of the icy thing in the bottom of it and the weight of it, you don't know exactly when your beer's going. No, my beer's gone. It's cold to the last drop. You can't be like, oh, my beer's getting warm, I'm almost to the end of it. It just tricks you. Not that it's a bad thing. Alright, so I was talking about preflexing this a little bit, and I think that that's the route that I am going to take. I will use unconventional tool. I'm going to use this pin vise, and I am going to work against the plow with it. Work the plow against it, pushing down and rolling. Give me a nice bench shape, a little ski shape, which is not perfect, but a good start for that. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And it's okay if you go a little bit over. It's not going to care. Once the glue's on it and it's stuck to the other side, it's melted together, it ain't going to give two shits. The idea is just for me to get this a bit closer so that I don't have to force the glue to do quite as much as I'm going to end up having to do. Looks like I'm going to have a weird corner I have to fill. Fill it with a putty. So I use more, to touch back on the epoxy sculpt, the epoxy putty, I use more than just epoxy sculpt for my putties. I use 4 or 5 different putties, I think. And I will get to them in a second after I glue this guy up here. Alright, that's where I want that. I like it. Gonna do the same operation, slathering and slathering. Get this side gluey, get that side gluey. Huey, gluey, and Louie. Yep, bad jokes, dad jokes. All dad jokes, no kids. I don't think any amount of these little guys will be enough to hold this in place. They're so loosey-goosey. Well, the ball game sounds exciting in the other room. Yankees versus Baltimore. I may have to implement a rubber band on this one. Now, of course, in the past I have suffered and just held it in place until it cured. Kind of a pain, absolutely works. Helps if you have like a good show, TV show, or movie that you're watching so that you don't have to talk to in essence, yourself, and a little tiny box mounted to the top of your computer. All right. Oh yeah, no, you should definitely be able to file things down. Conclude to myself. Could have done this another way too, I realize now, but I wasn't really thinking about it. Looks like I'm just going to be holding this one. That's alright. It's actually slightly helixical, so it makes sense that it's not going to be super happy. Thank you for your nani, Gabe. And thank you for doing the dishes at home for your respective housemate or girlfriend / wife / fiance. All right. Does that work? Oh, that works. Just fill that back part in. Look at those plastic boogers. Plastic tendril boogers. We'll reach under the desk for big box of rubber bands. Everybody should have a big box of rubber bands. I think that they should come standard in every household. You should just always have a machine that produces rubber bands for you, so that you never run out. That's a rubber band in every house. That's the platform that I'm campaigning on. What do you think, guys? I got a chance to win? Oh, yeah. Gotta give it up for Rubber Bando. Look at that. Like a charm. When in doubt, think something new, lads. Ah, water slides. It's a fun thing. I likes me some water slides. Part of a balanced breakfast. This is the one I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. Same process. Actually, let's go this way because it's the other direction. So I'm trying to bend it in a opposite direction helix, because the first piece was the other direction. Go to your home. All right. Cool. Oh, I was so bummed about the whole Hangouts thing being no more. I had everything all set up, or so I thought. Dun dun dun. Alright. The fuck? My Xbox is off for no reason. I tapped the wrong side? Nope. Did I bend it the wrong way? Not exactly. Wow. Yeah, I don't know why it did that. Unless it's incredibly hot up there. I do have the air conditioner turned off because of the noise. So what happened to Hangouts? Well, you meant well. So Google decided that it doesn't want to use Hangouts anymore. It doesn't allow connectivity to Hangouts. So all of the group live streams that do live stream with Hangouts no longer have that ability. So your Dumpla talks, your mechanisms, your, whatever live streams you're talking about, if it isn't through another, paid platform, essentially, your Adobe Flash or your, there's some other crap that they're linked to. They're just trying to make money on it. It's fucking stupid. They aren't doing it because it makes anything better. They're doing it because they aren't making any money the other way, even though the other thing is fucking Google. So go figure that one out. Alright, what do I got here? Okay. Okay. Get back to where I was. Just like, no jazz for you. I think I should hold this for a little bit at least. Sounds like they're doing interviews in the other room and the ball game must be over, and it sounds like the Yankees won. And that is okay with me. Giant hands, tiny rubber band. Got it. Got-y. Got-y. Alright. Enough of that meme. Come on, you motherfucker. Pardon me. So what do we have? Yeah. Yeah, and I think the fucked up part about it, to me, is that there was never any official announcement. It was just surprise, motherfucker. Like, literally last week, I used Hangouts, no problem whatsoever. This week, no Hangouts. So, I don't know. Oh, very disappointed. Makes me want to get another drink, so I will. Unfortunately, I don't have Paul to segue to here. Be like, hey, Paul, cover the field. So, talk amongst yourselves. Two little boats out there. And I'm back. Ha! Oh gosh. You guys are saying nice things while I'm away. So I have thought about Twitch, and I used to stream on Twitch occasionally, but Twitch doesn't agree with my computer very well. I stream via Wi-Fi, which probably sounds really stupid. My router is literally right there. I could hardline if I wanted to, and it would probably improve things. But my CPU this is like a $400 laptop. I'm not doing anything major. If I had a tower and some serious pushing power, I would absolutely stream on Twitch all the time. But as it stands, I am dropping frames. It is laggy as fuck. There's glitch fest. It just doesn't make any fucking sense to do for me with my current setup. So I would like to do Twitch to a degree. I think it would be better maybe. I play a lot of video games as well as build a lot of kits. I don't play nearly as many games as my wife does. My wife does games hardcore. But yeah, I've been thinking about it. I may have to, if this thing doesn't like have an easy resolution, if I have to really do some gymnastics to try and get this to work, I may end up having to just like swap it out, go over to Twitch, change it all, you know, adapt, I guess, right? Let's see what else we got. Yeah, it does kind of, the jazz does have like a nice light feel. Might be back with more Gunpla. We'll be back with more Gunpla after the beer. Let's see, gotta say, find Brian's streams and advice pretty valuable. Oh, nice. Yeah, totally, dude. I am glad we met in the Discord. That's one thing that's great about Mobile Suit Breakdown, as well as the Alex Dedoof Discord. It's met a lot of really cool people through both groups, and just continue to hold it down and continue to be great, cool people. So that's really rad. I agree. Let's see. Where's my go-to if I have any modeling related questions? Oh, me. Haha. Yeah, I'd like to answer questions. I like to help. I know a lot of stuff. I think about things. like you, like that sounded really condescending. I am so very sorry. I didn't mean to sound so bad. But that's not what I meant. What I meant to say was that I am constantly breaking things apart in my head, everything around me. I'm always deconstructing everything around me and putting it back together all the time. And so chances are, if you have a question about something, I've at least thought about it and I'm down to rap. So I always like to share ideas. I'm a spitballer, shot caller. 48 blades on the Impala. That was really bad. Still white. Yeah, so I just try to help, and it's a community, man. You gotta be cool. Gotta be cool about it. You know. Looks like these are fusing up nice. Back to the modeling. And you can see we've got some funny pla color goobery going on there. You will notice fingerprints from my fingers. The glue will not stick to your fingers, but it will soften the plastic to the point where that soft plastic will stick to your fingers, or at least mark with your fingerprint. So just be conscious of that while you're doing it. You can put on, the nitrile gloves, put on the rubbers, and eliminate that a little bit. You'll only end up with the texture for that, and clearly it won't stick as well to the nitrile or whatever, glove, latex, or whatever you're using. So yeah, there's that. What a way to end a sentence. All right. I think a little bit longer. I'm gonna let this sit a little bit longer before I cut this down and glue that on top. So what else is there to think about here? So many things to think about. Got the head, that ascot. I was gonna, I'm not worried about that just yet. That's gonna let that sit over there. I kind of want to make the waist a little bit longer. It does have a nice pivot to it. It's a mechanical gimmick. In here you can see it's just just pivots on that point right there. Let me get a little pointer because my sausage fingers don't make for pointer. This guy right. There it is. This guy right here. That is an axle point, and then this clips around it, just pivots right on there. You just pop that off with a little bit of, suggestion, we'll say, a little persuasion. Okay, so I can't F with this part, right? You got your little guy in there, your little pilot man. I don't know who the pilot in this one is supposed to be. I can't read Japanese. But I don't want to F with the capsule for the pilot that sits in there, or this hinge point, because I don't want to. I mean, this is if I can get that to slide out of there. Bad gimmick for that. Gotta say, Bandai, that's a bad hatch gimmick as far as hatch gimmicks go. Anyway, so yeah, don't want to screw up the hatch gimmick. Leaves us with this guy. This is the thing that we can mod to make longa. So the way this fits in here is it has these registration lines on the side. Slip in there. And it has to sit. It pops on there properly. Go on, pop it. Alright, there it is. Bam. So it sits in there super flush because it mates with this, the waist unit here, the saddle. And I don't want to F with the peg and this. Like, I don't want to cut the peg, try and draw it up, stack it. I could make a brass plug, I guess. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Now that I'm thinking about it after the fact. This feels like a poly. No. We're just gonna cut and stack. Keep it simple. I'm trying to keep this simple, as I have a 40-point list of things that I want to address on the kit. So this has to stay flush. The rocker has to chill rolling on this pin. And I have inside here, there's a poly cap that is embedded right very deep, actually, because it supports the entire waist. So this poly cap is embedded. Come on, focus, you little weasel. There we go. Right below, as you can see, almost right below the hinge point. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this part together with the poly cap inside. After it's glued, I will go back in, get my skewer here. I'm going to go back in and cut along the bottom. Oh, it just focused for half a fucking second. There we go. I'm going to cut along the bottom of this right here, which is just under that and just on top of this. So it looks like that is actually built with a little scoop in there to receive the edges of this cockpit ball. This sphere. Yep, it is, in fact. So I'll have to think about that when I'm doing the rest of my mods. What I'll do is so what am I gonna do there? So I will change the covers. No babies. Yeah, so I'll cut under here above these like two weird fake piston details. These two fake piston details. So I'll cut right on top of that, airing on the low side, because I want to maintain this ability. Come on, man. I want to maintain the ability for this to still clip onto the axle. It's going to be a very precise cut. I'll probably do a 3-sided cut, which means I'll cut I'll cut this side down to a depth where it's like penetrates. I'll do this side the same, cut this down to a depth, and then then I'll come in finally on the back and cut this down. So I'm gonna have to really, you know what? So this is really thin. I'm gonna glue this together. I'm gonna put a fucking piece of styrene in here to bridge this little well, because if you can see, it'll focus. There you go, almost. There it is. Inside there, it's like a real thin above that like pin connection. Above that pin connection back here, there is this reveal that is just, you know, a way for them to save plastic, but it's gonna make for a weak spot. So if I cut these two sides and then cut that back, that's a break point in its heartbeat. That's done. It's just fucking, what are you doing? So if I add a piece of styrene that's dimensioned in there and then let that cure before I cut it, it's gonna make the whole thing super strong. We won't have to worry about a damn thing. All right, so I'm gonna glue that together right now and fuse that piece of styrene in there.